The last thing we need to do before we start to put the body together is to prepare a hanging loop. What I'm going to use for the hanging loop is some embroidery thread, and I'm going to take 3 strands and plait or braid them. That means that the hanging loop is still going to be nice and fine and dainty, so it won't overpower your mouse ornament, but it's going to be really strong. Plaiting or braiding it makes it really strong, so it will stand up to however many years you want to hang up your ornament. If you wanted to, you could use a thin ribbon instead, or some kind of cord or linen thread, but this is how I like to do mine. So I've got, here I've got the length of remaining thread that we used for the previous step to sew the tail to the piece of scrap felt. And we used one of those strands. So the length was about 50 centimetres or 20 inches, and we've used one strand already. We are going to separate 3 additional strands. There are 5 left. We're going to take out 3 of them. Just a reminder, it was about as long as your arm. You can use any colour thread. You don't have to use the peach, but you do need to have one continuous length that is roughly as long as your arm, so 50 centimetres, 20 inches, to give you enough length to play with. So just a reminder to separate the strands. You take one strand between your thumb and forefinger, hold the others loosely between the thumb and forefinger of your other hand, and then pull that single strand up and out of that bundle and put it to one side. Then just repeat that 2 more times. Put those remaining 2 strands just out of the way. Take the 3 strands that you've just separated, and you just want to line up the ends. And tie them in a knot. So you're going to wrap it around your finger, or 2 fingers, whichever you like, and just tie them in a knot to secure them together. Now we're going to take a pin. You can use a safety pin if you like. I've just got one of my applique pins here, or you can even use your needle, anything that's going to hold it in place, and slip that pin just underneath that knot so it's between a couple of the threads. If you're sitting on the sofa, you can, assuming you don't have a leather sofa this is, you can then poke that pin into the arm of the sofa to hold the thread in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to secure it just to pin it to a tea towel, and then I will weight the tea towel down with a bundle of books. So I'm just going to put it in and out of the tea towel once, and I'm going to pop it in between those threads just underneath the knot, if you can see there, and then in and out of the tea towel again. Oh, I've got a few too many layers there. Just to hold it so when you pull it, it doesn't go anywhere. I'm just going to weight this tea towel down over here with a bundle of books, just so it's not going to go anywhere. Try and do this so you can actually see it and that's not getting in my light too much. And now what we're going to do is we're going to plait it just with a plain braid plait. So you separate the 3 strands. I've just realised I'd probably be better off with a darker tea towel here, but hopefully you can see me. Okay, so you take 1 strand of the thread in your left hand, 1 in your right hand, and then hold the centre one kind of between your 2 fingers. Let me just move my hands up so you can see what I'm doing here. And then you're going to take the right hand side and put it over the top of the centre thread, and you kind of switch your fingers over as you go, and then take the left hand side and put it over the top into the middle, and you just continue like that. So right hand into the middle, left hand into the middle, all the time going over the top. And you just continue. Oh, I've pulled mine out of the knot a bit there. Right to the middle, left to the middle, right to the middle, left to the middle, right to the middle, left to the middle, and you just carry on all the way to the end of the thread. And when you get to the end of the thread, you don't tie a knot, you just leave it unknotted, and that way that will be the end that you put through your needle when you come to thread the loop into the head of your mouse. So that's your hanging loop. You just keep going until you get as close to the end as you can. You can leave a few inches at the end, it doesn't have to be precise, but just remember, plait almost to the end, don't tie it off in a knot, and then just put it to one side, and that will be your hanging loop.